Okay, so we were talking about how our example here, that how to jump after 2, it could happen in a couple of different places. So it could happen at the first cliff, right? So we would go 2, 1, and we would say, okay, well, it must be beryllium, or a group 2 element. Or we could say, okay, here's our other cliff, so that would be 2, 1, so this could be carbon. So how are we going to figure out if it is from group 2 or if it's from group 4? So this is how we can think about it. If it's from group 4, we would see a big electron jump after 1, 2, so carbon to boron, boron. So that's our first cliff, so we're going to see a jump there. And then, if we continue taking electrons away, we're at beryllium, so third electron, lithium, fourth electron, and now we have another cliff between the fourth and the fifth electron. So if we go, oh, sorry, wrong direction. If we look, we should have another jump, whoops, up here between 4 and 5. And we really don't have a significant jump. So I'm like, I'm thinking this is probably something in group 2. All right, so I paused the video for a second so that I could highlight a few more of our rows and locate a few more jumps. So right now we just talked about why we think this is group 2 and probably not group 4. So I wanted to show you some examples of where we have more than one jump, like we see more than one cliff. So if we look at this one right under hydrogen, we are increasing by about 20. We increase by about 20. We increase by about 20. And then we increase by almost 40. That's a significant jump because it's a break in the pattern. Then it increases by 40 and ish, no, 30-ish, sorry, I can do math. And we're like, okay, that seems fine. And then we go from 137 to 739. Oh, my twinkling stars, that's a big jump. So that is definitely some type of energy level jump, for sure. Another example is this row, 2 rows down, starts with 17.3. 17.3, so it's going up by about 20, going up by about 20, going up by about 20, going up by about 20-ish, and then we increase by 40. So it's kind of a change in the pattern. Then it increases by about 30, and then it increases by a whole lot. So it goes from 184 to 953. That's a huge jump. So what this is telling me is that these guys have 2 cliffs. The first cliff, for example, for the 17, this row, the first cliff is going to happen after the 5th electron that you take away. And then the second cliff is happening between the 7th and 8th electron. So because of that, I can now start to think a little bit about what I think might be happening. So I'm going to go look at my periodic table and I'm going to think about, okay, I think this really big jump, that's got to be an energy level. So we would have to be going from the S block down in energy level. So I must be starting in the P block because that's the only way I could go like so many without a jump, right? If I'm already in the S block, I would go 1, 2, jump. If I have more than 2 before my first jump, I must be in the P block. So I'm going to guess that the P block is my first cliff, and I'm going to count from my cliff, I'm going to count to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my first cliff must be, or my element must be in the 7th group. And so let's make sure this checks out for ourselves. So we counted back to the 5th one. We ended up with group 7. So what we should expect to see is we can go 5, there's a cliff, we go 2 more, there's another cliff. That's an energy level. So if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, cliff, 6, 7, cliff, another energy level, and that checks out. That checks out for sure. So we know that one has to be group 7. Similarly, we have this guy up here, and his first jump is after the 4th electron. So we can find a cliff and count back by 4. Again, this is bigger than 2, so we know that our cliff has to be the P block cliff. So I go up here, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4. So this must be group 6, oxygen's family. And we want to double check, so we're going to do, okay, 4, a cliff, and then 2, a cliff, and then 2 more that are really, really hard to take. See if that checks out. 1, 2, 3, 4, cliff, 5, 6, cliff, and helium and hydrogen in row 1 are going to be really, really hard to take. So that makes sense. So I feel pretty good that this is group 6. Okay. Now we've identified some of these groups, right? You guys, we've said like, okay, this has to be group 2, this has to be group 6, this has to be group 7, but we need to figure out which element in that group it is. We know it has to be less than 20, right? Because we're only going through calcium. So it has to be, basically it has to be in the first 2 rows. Well, 3 rows, right? Hydrogen, helium, but the first 2 full rows. So that makes it a little bit easier. And in order to be able to start to differentiate, we're going to need to compare to our other our other ionization energies. So I'm going to pause the video for a sec. I'm going to color code the rest of these with jumps, and I think that's going to help us a lot. Okay, so now we've got some stuff to compare to. I've colored the rest of the table with the jump patterns. So if we look down here, where we have another one where we go 4, and then 2, and then 2, that's going to tell me that's another group 6. So now we have to think about, okay, which group 6 is which? And this is where we're going to think about our periodic trends. So the top group 6 starts at 13 ionization energy and ends at 871. The bottom group 6 starts at 10 and ends at 328. What that tells me is that the top group 6 has a higher ionization energy just in general. And so the higher ionization energy per our atomic trends is at the top of the table. So if we go to look at group 6, the ones that we're dealing with would be oxygen and sulfur. And so for oxygen and sulfur, oxygen is going to be the one with the bigger ionization energies. And then the other one will be sulfur. So this one is oxygen because it has higher ionization energies overall. And this one is going to be sulfur. They're both group 6, but one has significantly higher values than the other. Okay, so Sorry, I'm trying to decide what I want to do next. So we've got a couple more values in here. One thing that can help you as you are moving forward to finish this, because I'm only going to do a couple more examples, is, you're going to be able to go in and fill the first 7 elements easy peasy, and so that checks those right off the list. But let's look for a couple more guys that match each other. So here we set a group 2 and we had 2 and then nothing. So here's another 2 and then nothing. No, not nothing, but no really huge jumps afterwards. So this guy's probably also group 2. Cool. Now we expect that we're going to have a couple different group 2 elements. All right, because we'll have beryllium, magnesium, and calcium. Beryllium only has 4 electrons, so it can't be either of the ones we're looking at because they have more than 8 electrons. So it has to be magnesium or calcium. We'd expect magnesium to have a higher first ionization energy because of where it is on the table, because it's a row higher. So let's compare 7.6 to 6.1. So I'm going to say this guy is magnesium because it has a higher ionization energy, and this one is calcium. Excellent. All right. Hopefully this has given you guys a little bit of a feel for how this works. I will post a key. It's not going to be created on Crackness. I just want to stretch your brain a little bit. Okay, sometimes it's good to work on things that are really hard, and it's frustrating, and it's really good for your brain. Okay. Just a little side note, there's a bunch of slides on here towards the bottom of this PowerPoint that are not anything you need to look at. They're slides that I made and then decided not to use, but then I was like, oh, I might want them in the future, so I just put them at the end. You can look at them if you want, but you don't need to. Okay, so this is the end. Good luck with this puzzle and the other puzzles. I will talk to you guys soon.